Well, hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. Hope I find you well. Today we're looking at this Y3 Sentinel. These are commissioned by Model Rail, the magazine, and you can see here www.modelrailoffers.co.uk, and they're made by Dapol, and these retail at £99. You can pick them up cheaper at the moment. I've seen there is a sale on at the moment, and these are down to £84. So normally with these videos I sit down and I spend quite a bit of time trying to work out mainly how to start, you know, where do you start reviewing something. This one is easy. This has to be the worst packaged model I think I've ever bought. I mean, apart from the fact that the box looks like it's been kicked around a factory, I've not actually had this out of the box yet. This is how it arrived, partially opened, and yeah, up the wrong way. If you see this highly detailed model, and the model is actually upside down in the box, so obviously it's been out sometime. I'm not overly fussy about that, but yeah, with the box being kicked around. But it's not just that. I mean, this is £100 model, and I've seen better wagons boxed than this. Yeah, honestly, gotta get the prize for the worst packaged model ever. You know, I just, well, it escapes me. I mean, you know, you invest a lot of money in these models, and I like to keep them nice, and I do like to display the boxes as well. But yeah, something needs to be said and done about that, I think. On the back here, I'll just read this out: highly detailed model. Then it gives you no information about the model at all, just basically tells you that it's not for children under 14 because of the choking hazard. And apart from the address of Model Rail, the website of Model Rail, and on the end here the part number MR020 Sentinel Y3, I've gone for the early crest BR because I quite like that one. And yeah, that's it. That is all that's on the box. Very, very disappointing indeed. So that said, I'm going to put that to one side and not say any more about it. Now, also inside here we do get a little leaflet. As I say, I haven't opened this, so let me just have a quick look what's in here. Now, quite a useful leaflet that is here with the model. So tells us about the oiling and warranty. So mainly the couple of points here: the model needs light oil before use, so I will do that, but I'll do that off camera. Fail to oil as recommended may affect any warranty claims. And it then tells you that the model is fully DCC ready. It's fitted with an 8-pin decoder interface, so it's 8-pin, and that's located inside the cab. I wonder if that will be visible. We'll have a look in a moment. If you do fit a decoder in there, will it be visible from the outside? We'll have a look through the windows and see if that's the case. Tells you how to remove the body anyway to get to the decoder socket. And then down the bottom here, the warranty, because this is in association with Dapol and actually purchased through Model Rail. Any problems, you've got to return to Model Rail, and it's got a warranty for 6 months on there. So yeah, that's all of that side. And then over here it gives some information about the class itself, but I'll come on to that when I zoom in on the model and do some detailed shots. Right, let me just take the side packaging off, and let's discuss the model. So I read that it says that this is the 5th batch of Sentinel models. These ones were produced in 2002. There are 4 variants available. The latest batch has new Y1 and Y3 variants. This is one of the older Y3 variants, and basically you can see here it's got the BR crest on the side of the early BR crest, which is the one I chose out of the 4. The model comes with accurate laser scanned body and chassis, 5-pole super creep motor with flywheel and drive to both axles, friction-free pickup arrangements, heavy tungsten chassis for reliable performance and outstanding haulage power. I've already mentioned the 8-pin DCC socket. Etched metal grills, wire handles and separate detailed parts, and close attention to detailed variations with NEM coupling. So with that said, let's lift the model out and let's have a look. It's quite a weighty model for its size, I'll give it that. And yeah, very nice indeed. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is I'm looking in the cab and all I can see is the DCC socket inside. Yeah, a little bit disappointing there. Very, very obvious. Right in the middle there is the chip, and it can be seen through the glass. I guess with a small Loco like this, you know, I mean, it's part and parcel of it, isn't it? That you know, you've got to package it somewhere, and I guess all the space is taken up inside with the metal chassis to give it the white traction weight, and also the motor in there. You've got to put it somewhere, and I guess, you know, they haven't frosted the windows because, I mean, you could do that if you want to. It gives you the option of whether you frost the windows or not. But let's have a walk round the outside of the Loco. So a couple of coal bunkers on the top here. They don't look too bad, moulded in to the plastic. We've got a little light pickup on the front, which is nicely detailed, and two more lamp fittings either side. No sprung buffers, and there's the NEM coupling on the front there with the NEM pocket. Down at the bottom here we've got the sand pipes, the traction pipes, which are quite nicely modelled on the side there with the bunkers, and we've got brake shoes modelled in on the front and on the rear, and you can see the little stabilising bars. I forget what they're called now, so forgive me. Stabilising bars here for the axles. They don't look too bad, too out of place. We've got some steps on the side and a couple of grab handles fitted either side. Quite nicely fitted or moulded in louvres, and all of the riveting down the sides, rather nicely done. Very vulnerable whistle on the top there, and you can see that the chimney is in an open position, but a fixed open position, again looking quite vulnerable on the top there, and yeah, no sliding roof on there, so it is very limited in its features. Hook couplings either end as well as the NEM couplings, so if you want to take those off you can run it with the chain on there. On the back here again, 3 fittings for the lamps. Painting is really crisp. Do like the painting on it, you know, the numbers are really crisp. The BR livery, absolutely perfect. The buffers are painted in really nicely. There's no bleed of the paint, really nicely done. And on the side here we've got the injectors just moulded in, but not picked out in any colour. They're just in black on the side there. So all in all, quite a nice little model there. I guess it's the nature of the subject matter. I mean, there's only so much detail you can put on this, but the one thing that really does let it down is the chip inside. You know, that it's well, the socket is actually visible through the side here, which is such a shame. This could have been absolutely perfect actually, but apart from that, on the side there. Now there's no other details inside the cab. I'm just having a look. Yeah, no details in the cab, so it really is quite limited on the kind of function there. Now keep in mind this is a £100 model, although you, as I say, you can pick them up for 85. Quite unique in subject matter though. I've only actually seen these in O gauge before, and I do fancy one of these in O gauge, but yeah, it's a little bit limited in its features, I have to say. And you know, combine that with the NAF packaging it came in, yeah, this is a hard sell for 100 quid, I think. But yeah, proof will be when we go and run it. So let's take it over to the railway, let's get some detailed shots, and I'll tell you a little bit about the Sentinel. In 1923, the Sentinel Wagon Works in Shrewsbury introduced its centre-engined vertical boiler locomotive. The 100 horsepower engine was developed from Sentinel's widely used steam road vehicles. The design employed a vertical boiler and had a high-speed engine with twin cylinders and a change drive to both axles. There were 2 versions, the Y1, a single gear, which had a maximum speed of about 21 miles an hour, and the Y3, which had a sprocket that allowed 2 gears to be selected, the lower gear maxing out at about 13.5 miles an hour, where on the high-speed gear gave approximately 36 miles an hour. The locomotive was very popular where a lightweight shunting engine was required and a conventional steam locomotive could not be justified. The LNER, London North Eastern Railway, was the most enthusiastic user of the type in the UK, and after initial trials it purchased 24 Y1 single speeds and 32 double speed Y3s. These locomotives came into service between 1925 and 1933. They were deployed across the LNER network from Lowestoft to Wrexham right the way up into the Scottish borders. All but one of the locos were transferred into British Rail in 1948, with most being retained in the North Eastern region. Sentinels were also purchased by the London, Midland and Scottish Railway. They had 4 in service in various locations including Burton-on-Trent, Derby and Shrewsbury. The Great Western also tested and purchased some Sentinels. There were others that went into service all across the world: Australia, Egypt, India and Iraq, and some of those are still in existence. However, there are only 2 in existence now in the UK that went into preservation. One of them is at the Middleton Railway in Leeds, and Islebrook, the former GWR number 12, which is at the Buckinghamshire Railway. And it was this former GWR loco at the Buckinghamshire Railway that was scanned for the making of this model. Right, let's give this a little bit of power. Now my HM controller is set to full power but high impedance, and this is supposed to have really good control. It says it's got the special creep motor in. Do you know, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Look how slow I'm managing to move that. Oh, it's stuck now. That's not a good sign, is it? Now I did clean the track just before this review, so I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Now I did give it a tiny little bit of oil off camera, and obviously the model hasn't been running, it's straight out the box. Maybe that was just a dirty bit of track, because it seems to be absolutely fine now. Let's try it here. Oh yeah, look, there's so much control. Let's try a little bit faster. Really nice. A little bit noisy. That's just being picky. I'm going to move the microphone close to it. I mean, to be fair, that's just being really picky, the noise. I think that's got beautiful control, and it really does look the part. You know, for this type of model, as I say, it's not something that you know, is readily available from lots of manufacturers. This kind of model normally you'd be scratch building, so you've got to keep that in mind. Now it's just a shame that my eye keeps going to the decoder that you can see inside the cab. And yeah, to be honest with you, I would have preferred that they released a non-digital version, just an analog version, but without any of the electrics showing. You know, I would have quite like that myself, but then I do run analogs. That's a little bit selfish for those that want to convert this into digital with the 8-pin chip. I very much doubt whether you're going to have space to put sound on this. I'm not going to take it apart and find out. I mean, my reviews aren't that in depth. I'm sure there's other reviews on the internet that would go into that kind of detail. These are just my thoughts and opinions on the model, but control wise, cannot fault it at all. Backwards and forwards with no issue at all. Now at this point I'd normally do a run round on the layout. I'm going to put it on actually the new track that I've just installed on the layout, and have a little trial at getting some shots with a different camera angle. Well, I've got it pulling a few coaches, and it seems to be pulling them okay. They're certainly not slowing down, on particularly on the corners. Let me just bring this round, and I'm going to slow it down in front of the camera. Right, and I've managed to park it right behind the trees, so let me go back a little bit. Right, let's try and pull away. You know, I know it's only four trucks on there, but they're quite heavy ones. They're not particularly, well, 3 of them are quite heavy. It's not having any particular problem. Let's say very noisy though, isn't it? Right, well, let me try and summarise, and I'll try and be positive to start with. So, nice little runner. Certainly the creep function is very, very good, and I personally love the subject matter. I know there's not a lot to these, you know, Sentinels, but I just think they're quite quirky, and yeah, quite an interesting Loco. And to have a model of one is absolutely fantastic. As I say, I'd like to have the O-gauge version of this. Maybe that's to come in the future. So, on to the bad points. Well, the first thing, and the most irritating thing of all, is the fact that you can see the decoder inside the cab. Such a shame, it really lets the model down. Why that couldn't have been hidden, where the windows may be frosted, or even, as I said earlier, a version without the digital option, just as an analog, I would have preferred that. As it is, you know, it seems rather difficult even to sort of do your own detailing inside the cab there, because you're just going to be stuck with the electrics there. Maybe even put a cover over them, and maybe that's the way to go about it, but I don't know. And then the other thing is, just to go right back to the beginning of this video, the box on this, absolutely shocking. This day and age, with some of the packaging that the manufacturers are coming out with now, to actually supply a £100 model in what nothing better than a wagon box, it's just shocking. And not very good wagon box at that. You know, nothing on the outside of describing the model or any thought or care gone into it. It just plonked inside this box with yeah, just with the sticker on the end saying what it was. Such a shame, because it is a beautiful little model, and just let down by those couple of little things. Otherwise it'd be absolutely perfect. Now, am I pleased with it? Well, of course I am. You know, I always feel grateful for all of the models that I get. You know, I paid £84 for it. £84, a lot of money for a tiny little Loco. But as you saw, creeping up backwards and forwards on the track, I'm quite capable of pulling a decent load with the carriages. I had the trucks on there, and 3 of those trucks were full of sand, so quite a weighty load, and it wasn't really struggling that bad. It was pulling them quite adequately. So yeah, I am pleased with it, and it's another one for my collection that I shall enjoy using when I've got the new layout all built and ready to go. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you can subscribe, I'll be awfully grateful. I'm trying to build up the channel a little bit, and you know, trying to get some new viewers, and yeah, my viewing figures are just dropping through the floor, and yeah, my subscribers are gradually creeping up, but yeah, the viewing figures, I'm just struggling to get new viewers, so trying to play with the algorithm a little bit to see if I can get my channel up to the top of the list. So if you can subscribe, I would be very, very grateful. Anyway, with that, I'm just going to say thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.